I am 100% going to say it, and I 100% believe it, that if it wasn't for CNN, I don't know that Trump would have got...
Project Veritas, I think, has confirmed something that we have thought for a long time, and that is that the mainstream media is just filled with activists who have a political agenda, and they are essentially arms of political candidates and campaigns. So Project Veritas went undercover with a director of something at CNN and uncovered some pretty alarming things. They're going to be two things, and they're related to the 2020 election, Donald Trump, and the coronavirus pandemic. And before I get into it, I just want to play a short clip so everyone can get an idea of what Project Veritas uncovered.
I think we got him through this term. We would always show shots of him jogging, him in aviator shades, and like you paint him as a young geriatric.
We were creating a story there that we didn't know anything about. You know, so that's I think that's propaganda.
Look what we did. We got Trump out. I am 100% going to say it, and I 100% believe it, that if it wasn't for CNN, I don't know that Trump would have got voted out or focused.
It's pretty shocking things there. CNN is admitting essentially that they were campaigning for Joe Biden to get Donald Trump out. So there is no sense of non-biased news here. It is all radically biased with an agenda. One of those things was do you guys remember the video of Trump walking down the steps at was it the military?
Yeah, the ramp.
Yes. Talked about it a few weeks ago on the show.
Yes. So this guy says Trump's hand was shaking or whatever. We brought in like so many medical people to tell a story that like it was all speculation, that he was neurologically damaged and he was losing it. So they brought in selective medical experts to report on Donald Trump's health to try to sow doubt in Trump to get Biden elected. I mean, imagine if Fox News had brought on a bunch of medical experts to diagnose Joe Biden with dementia before the 2020 election. That would be problematic, don't you think?
Well, I don't remember Fox bringing on a whole bunch of medical experts about Hillary. Maybe there were some. Right. I don't remember that. But man, there was so much caterwauling from the left and from the media about any kind of speculation about Hillary's health.
Yeah.
You know, how dare they do? And Hillary just provided, just kind of like Biden, she provided all of these fantastic opportunities. Or, I mean, do you guys remember the
couldn't
clip
open
of
the pickle jar?
Couldn't open They were loading her. Looked like they were loading her into an ambulance in one shot. She provided all of these opportunities, and so I don't remember conservatives marching out a whole bunch of doctors. Possible they did. But yeah, assembling a bunch of doctors to completely speculate, and that's not what the news is supposed to do. The news is supposed to ask hard questions to people who are in power and keep them accountable, and that's not what any of this was.
The thing that's shocking is this isn't even like biased news. It's beyond just biased news. Look, we admit that we're a conservative Christian news organization. Right. We tell people that up front so they know what they're getting. It's not like CNN is telling people, "Oh, yeah, we're campaigning for Joe Biden." You know, just so you know. Isn't there some sort of potential trouble they could get in here? If you're a business or a media organization, and you're actively, he's essentially admitting that CNN is actively campaigning or campaigned for Joe Biden. Can't they face some sort of consequences for what they did if he is really admitting that CNN campaigned for Joe Biden?
I mean, I don't think that there are any sort of specific institutional kind of ramifications or consequences to this. I don't think there should be. I think that the consequences that should be struck here, and I'm hoping that the American people are catching on to it, is the idea that, and this is something that a media idol of mine, Andrew Breitbart, said throughout the later part of his life, was that the left uses nonpartisanship and all of these words of moderacy and centricism as a cudgel against the American people
Yeah.
and against their enemies, they claim this nonpartisan, unbiased view of things that they don't actually have, and then they go behind everyone's backs while the veil is up, and they start walloping the opposition with a hammer. And so I don't really see a problem with them doing that. I mean, folks on the right do the same thing to folks on the left. Now, depending on how you view journalism and media, that might be a problem for you. For a very long time, if you look back at the history of journalism in this country and in Western Europe, journalism has never really been an idea of this kind of unbiased approach. Yellow journalism is a fantastic example. The breaking down of Tammany Hall in New York, even the early publications in the United States during the Revolution were all ideologically driven. The problem is when you start claiming that you are not, in fact, ideologically driven. So when it comes to consequences, Joy, I'm hoping that it is that the American people wake up and as an audience provide consequences to CNN and MSNBC for not admitting their bias, for operating as though they were an unbiased organization and then beating the opposition like a campaign arm. I don't see a problem with fighting the fight ideologically as long as you come clean about where your ideology is.